everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I have this week's overviews for this week's 2 episodes of The Bad Batch, as yes, I forgot there were 2 of my predictions, whoops, and this week's episode of X-Men 97, which was the first part of 2 separate stories. I'll get to that in a few minutes. Anyway, this week's Bad Batch episodes showed the Empire at their most cruel. Like, wow, they were awful in these episodes, good God. Yeah, so the first episode, the Empire is now straight up kidnapping Force-sensitive children. And unlike the Jedi, they were not asking the parents if they could take them. They were just ripping them away with bounty hunters. We see the female clone that we've seen in Season 2 and the first couple of episodes of this season, who we now have a name for, Dr. Amari Carr. So she's in these episodes, because we're on Mount Tantis again, with these Force-sensitive children. And we get to know a couple of them. One of them attempts to escape. Unfortunately, doesn't quite work out for him. He gets locked into solitary confinement for 2 days. However, the main crux of this episode is a Force-sensitive baby on another planet. And once again, the Empire sends out a bounty hunter to capture the kid and bring him to Coruscant. Yeah, not even Mount Tantis. Coruscant, to be taken to Tantis by Dr. Carr. So that was the main crux of this episode, but the bounty hunter in question was one that we all know, and it was none other than Clone Wars' favourite bounty hunter, Cad Bane. Now, of course, we saw Cad Bane most recently in the Book of Boba Fett a couple of years ago, but it was really nice to see him back in animation. Although I think he was seen as well in the first season of The Bad Batch, if I remember rightly. Please let me know down in the comments if I'm right or wrong on that. So that was the first episode, really. It was just Dr. Carr getting to know some of these Force-sensitive children that the Empire have captured, no doubt for Project Necromancer. Well, we know it's for Project Necromancer, it was straight up confirmed. And it would seem that winds of change are occurring in Dr. Carr's moral code. She seemed incredibly uncomfortable with the fact that they, literally were holding children prisoner. Like, yeah, that was, that wasn't sitting well with her at all, because she was basically in the same position on Kamino under Nala Se. So, yeah, this isn't sitting well with Dr. Carr at all. I'm wondering how long it's going to be before she pulls an escape attempt with them. Because no doubt she's going to escape with them, because if the Empire find her, they will kill her, should she pull this off. Anyway, the second episode of The Bad Batch, we were back on Pabu. The Bad Batch were just about ready to leave, because Hunter sensed that the Empire was probably on their way to tracking them. He was right. And it would turn out that CX2, the clone assassin, is not dead. Far from it, actually, because he was back in this episode. His identity is still very unknown, but he was able to blow up the Havoc Marauder, which is the Bad Batch's shuttle for the entire show up to this point, also in the process heavily injuring Wrecker to the point where he got knocked out. Thankfully, we do learn pretty quickly that he is in stable condition, but is still very unconscious. But then the Empire arrives in full force, and then we see Pabu get utterly decimated. And I mean, damn near burned to the ground by the Empire looking for Omega, and eventually, as a result of them destroying Pabu, looking for her, she turns herself over to them, much to Crosshair's dismay. And then CX2 takes her back to Tantis. So she's in the hands of the Empire again. We'll see how that goes over the final few episodes, over the next few weeks. Now, that's the Bad Batch episodes done for this week. Now, on to X-Men 97. As I said, this was the first part to 2 separate stories. There was a story involving Jubilee and Roberto and Mojo, one of the villains from the X-Men original series, and they were actually dragged into a video game world created by Mojo, and eventually they managed to break through and out of it with the help of another Jubilee who was one of the beta versions of Jubilee for this game, which I thought was quite cool. And, you know, the game was just reliving some of Jubilee's old memories as a member of the X-Men. And, of course, in the episode, it was her 18th birthday. And that part of the episode was pretty cool. However, the second part was much cooler for me, personally, as it was focusing on Storm, who we haven't seen, well, since last week. Well, no, the week before last, actually, I think, when she, you know, went away. And then we see her try to reconnect with her powers thanks to Forge. He attempts to build a device to help her regain her powers permanently, although it doesn't quite work. Will that change, though? Very potentially. But as I said, these were part 1s to 2, so both part 1s of these stories were smashed into one episode. So I'm assuming that the second part to both of these episodes will appear in next week's episode. Yeah, it was confusing, but they were really good. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this triple overview of the Bad Batch episodes for this week. Episodes 42 and 43. Yes, I think that's right. And X-Men 97, episode 4. So please, I will also correct that in the thumbnail if I'm wrong. Anyway, please give this video a like, subscribe to mine and Roxanne's channel, so links down in the description. My button is down there. Please click those and then the bell icons to get both sets of our notifications. Comment as well, because why not, and let me know what you thought of these episodes of the Bad Batch and X-Men 97, and which was your favourite out of all of them. Which of that too. Please follow me on my social medias. I'll be down in the link tree in the description. Below that is going to be Roxanne's website. And lastly, please do share this video with all your friends so they can join the infinite loop of liking, subscribing, commenting, following, and sharing, and around and around and around that loop. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with this week's video on my thoughts on the first 2 episodes of the final season of Star Trek Discovery. Goodbye!